This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
All right, so anyway, one of the teams, they didn't make the playoffs, and they've been kind of dealing with some drama. This has probably sparked up the most drama so far since the season had ended. But Tyreek Hill, he might be leaving the Miami Dolphins. I didn't put this in the news because I wanted it to be something separate. And Tyreek Hill, man, he did a post-game interview after they lost their final game of the season, of course. I don't know how, but they've had a lot of inconsistencies. They lost to the Jets 32-20, and Tyreek Hill was not happy after the game. And they were asking him questions about, next year, and what about next year, and how are you feeling, and are you going to be trying to leave, and all of that stuff. And he had quite the response, man. His response kind of just signaled that, yeah, he's about to be leaving. So I'm not even going to tell you much more of, what he said. I'm just going to play it for you. That way you can hear exactly what Tyreek Hill was saying after the game in the loss against the New York Jets. Here it is.
This is my first time. I haven't been in the playoffs, man. So, for me, like I said, man, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here or if that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like I'm out, bro. So it was great playing here, but.
You thinking about leaving here?
If it is, hey, yes. This is my first.
Bro said, yes, yes, I'm out of here, man. Look, people wanted to immediately go ahead and hop on Tyreek Hill like, oh, he's a diva wide receiver, and, oh, man, he can never be happy. He dropped passes, and what is he so upset for on leaving the Dolphins? And look, bro, I immediately I'm like, okay, well, maybe you got a point here. But then I start to think about it, and I'm like, okay, well, the Dolphins, they haven't really made anything happen since Tyreek Hill has been there. You think of his situation as a wide receiver. We know receivers can only be as good as the quarterback are feeding them to be. And with a quarterback like Tua Tagovailoa, who's missed so many games throughout the seasons over the past few years. He only played 11 of the 17, and he missed 6 games. Obviously, super crucial, because if he was playing, then potentially the Dolphins would have made the playoffs. But, this dude is playing in a situation where it's not beneficial anymore at all. You went to Miami originally, and I understand you tried to, shift the culture. You wanted to go ahead and bring the Dolphins back to winning and that winning type of environment. But this team, you can only do so much as a player, one. And then you being 30 years old, you're not trying to spend the rest of your career reviving a franchise that don't know how to win, because the Dolphins, they ain't even made it out the wild card since over 20 years ago. I think it was 1999 is the last time Dolphins made it out the wild card. So I'm not mad at Tyreek Hill being on the back end of his career and also trying to go play for a competitor in a team that can actually help him retire as a champion. Like, I get it. He has his contract. He got his contract with the Dolphins. I think it was the beginning of the year, signed for 3 years, $90 million. And I don't know where he's going to go, where somebody can take on that contract, but they're going to have to make some shape, because at this point, I don't see the Dolphins reviving this relationship at all. Anytime somebody is going out in the media and they're saying, yeah, it's done. I'm done. I'm out of here. They said, do you think about leaving? Yeah. I don't think it's any way you can revive this. And people are so quick to blame wide receivers for situations and stuff, but also you got to remember, man, no receiver ever got paid because they can block so well. Like, receivers get paid to catch the ball, and if quarterbacks can't give them the ball in positions for them to thrive, then what good are they doing on that team? And Tyreek Hill being a smaller receiver anyway, it ain't like he going out there and blocking a hell of a lot of people. Like, he's a smaller dude as is. So his specialty is catching the ball in open space and cutting upfield. But if you ain't even got a quarterback who's going to be healthy enough to get you the ball, that's not cool. It's not fun. And I get it, man. I understand. So look, man, I'll say this. I'm gonna leave y'all with this here on a positive note, of course, because obviously, you know, a bunch of the different news and a bunch of games and stuff, people getting fired and all of that. I'm gonna just say this, man. Sometimes the situation that you're in, it might be rough, it might be ugly, but just know it's always something you can learn from that situation, no matter what it is. Whether it's a good, bad situation, maybe the worst situation you've ever experienced, is always something you can learn. So just remember, whenever you down and out and you thinking like, man, this is the end, just know, just see what you can pull from it, see what you can learn from it, and capitalize on it next time. Like, hey, that's all I'm gonna say. Accept that however you want to accept it. And then other than that, man, that's all we got for you today. It's a quicker episode. It's snowy outside, locked in the crib, feeling good. Get to watch some football. Actually, man, forget all that. I was about to start rambling, but tomorrow, man, IG Live. You got to follow us on Instagram at The Run Podcast. We're going to be joining On the Hot with Thomas Taree, man. Man, he's got some great stuff. And his pod is dope, so you got to check that out. Looking forward to joining him. We're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff from quarterback play to the playoffs is beginning and everything. So we're looking forward to that, man. And then we're going to try and have a guest on too later on during the week. But don't quote me on that because sometimes, you know, it's easier said than done. We'll figure it out. Anyway, send this to a cousin, a brother, an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a coworker, a friend, a spouse. I promise you they're not going to mind. Just say, hey, check him out. I think he's dope. I thought the episode was good. He was talking about the Lions. He was talking about the Vikings. He was talking about the Dolphins. He gave a lot of news. Whatever the case is, I promise you they're not going to mind. So just shoot it their way. Worst case, they don't listen. But, you know, shout out to you for listening. Of course, especially if you listen all the way to the end every episode. You really my guy or my girl, whatever. I just know I appreciate you. I appreciate that for sure. Last thing, let me hear from you. Shoot us a quick take, 219-413-9405. Leave us a quick take. Share your thoughts on the show. Share your thoughts on the take, the news, whatever's going on in the media, your predictions, whatever the case is. We're going to slowly start transitioning to basketball more and more as the NFL season comes to an end and as there becomes less and less to talk about in the NFL because the season's coming to an end, unfortunately. But, all right, man, look, that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate you for kicking it. And that's all, man. We'll be back later on next week and so on and so on and so on.